여기는 워싱턴 DC의 연방상원의원 빌딩입니다. 저는 지금 미국의 딱 100명뿐인 연방상원의원 중에 무척 높은 지위에 있는 크리스 벤 할렌 의원을 만나러 그분의 오피스에 가는 길입니다. 크리스 벤 할렌 연방상원의원은 민주당 연방선거 캠페인위원회 의장이기도 하셨고요. 같은 민주당이지만 이스라엘 군대를 지원하는 바이든 정부를 비판하기도 했던 소신파이십니다. 또한 메릴랜드에서는 한국계, 중국계 등 아시안 커뮤니티와 깊은 연대를 드러내면서 국제관계위원회와 국제안보위원회 의장이셔서 한미동맹의 현장에서 실제로 목소리를 내시는 무척 높은 지위의 상원의원이십니다. 이분의 목소리가 기존의 미국의 입장을 대표한다고 해도 전혀 이상할 것이 없는 분이시지요. 메릴랜드의 수석 상원의원이신 이분의 오피스는 7층에 있네요.
Senator Chris Van Hollen. My name is Sun Huang, and thank you for making time to meet with Sun's media systems.
It's an honor to meet with you. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I have questions for behalf of the Marylanders, also Korean American and Asian American communities.
Sure.
For those Marylanders who may not be aware of all your hard work in the U.S. Senate, so would you tell me what are some of the important work you have been doing for benefit of Maryland and our nation?
Sure. Well, first again, thank you for the opportunity to sit down with you. And we're working on lots of things right now in the United States Senate. But some of the areas I've focused on have included education. You know, I'm a strong believer that educational opportunity is vital to opening doors to people of all different backgrounds. And of course, in the Asian American community, we have a very highly educated Asian American community, but we want to make sure everybody has that opportunity within the Asian American community and every community. And so I've been working to provide more federal resources to schools around the country, but also more after-school opportunities, right? We don't want a situation where just when the school day ends, people do not have other opportunities, whether it be for mentoring, whether it be in the arts or sports. So that's another area I've focused on a lot. In addition to many other issues, healthcare, protecting our environment, which of course impacts everybody.
What are some of your work or bills specifically affecting the Korean American community and then other Asian communities?
Sure. Well, there are a number of things. First of all, we want to make sure that everybody in the United States is treated equally and fairly. And during the COVID pandemic, there was a lot of hate and misinformation directed at the Asian American community. So we worked here to pass legislation to condemn that action and to make sure that we faithfully apply the laws, because nobody in America should be unfairly singled out for discrimination. Closer to home in Maryland, I've also worked very closely with the Asian American community on lots of issues of concern. And we've also worked to get resources for some of the groups. So, for example, in Frederick County, there's an Asian American center, like a community center. They have a program for early education, and it also helps with childcare needs. So we were able to secure federal funding, about $350,000, to help them in their efforts. That's just one example of some of the very specific things we've done to try to help members of the Asian American community in Maryland.
The many Korean Americans in Maryland are interested in what is happening in Korea, because some of their family members still live in there. So in that regard, they will be interested in knowing what your personal view on South Korea. President Yoon Suk-yeol, you know that, declaring an emergency martial law. So in South Korea and his subsequent impeachment and arrest.
Right. So the first thing I should say is how much I value the relationship between the United States and the Republic of Korea and the people of South Korea. And I've been the chair of the East Asia subcommittee of the Foreign Relations Committee, and used that forum as an opportunity to address issues of concern to our Korean allies, and had hearings focusing on different issues. And so my view is that U.S.-Korean partnership is strong. We need to keep it strong, and we have lots of people-to-people exchanges, and obviously a common interest in defending democracy and freedom in South Korea, especially given the regime in North Korea. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of political turmoil in South Korea recently. President Yoon addressed a joint session of Congress a few years ago. He was warmly welcomed. But I do believe that his decision to declare martial law was unjustified. There was not a good basis for it. How the Korean people deal with that and respond is, of course, up to the Korean people and the democratic system in Korea as to what accountability is required. Just as, here in the United States, we have our own accountability systems that include impeachment and conviction and our judicial process. But the really good thing about South Korea's system is it's a democracy. It obviously was not in the 1970s, yes. Right? So it's come a long way. And it's very important to support those institutions that support the rule of law.
What impact, if any, do you think this incident will have on the political and then military and the economic relationship between the United States and South Korea?
I don't think it's going to harm the relationship between the United States and South Korea, because our relationship is built on very important principles of protecting democracy, protecting the rule of law, open exchange of people between our two democracies. So I think our relationship will remain strong, the relationship between the United States and South Korea.
Okay, thank you very much for the interview.
Of course. Thank you.
네, 크리스 벤 할렌 연방상원의원 말씀의 의미를 요약하자면, 민주주의와 법치주의에 근거해서 문제를 해결할 능력이 있는 대한민국이야말로 미국과의 동맹관계를 걱정하지 않아도 될 만큼 이미 성숙한 나라다라고 해석해도 되지 않을까요? 민주주의가 최고입니다.